My name is Rebecca. I'm sitting in my new, quiet apartment, looking at the confirmation of the house sale. A sense of relief washes over me, like a weight has finally been lifted off my chest. It's been a long journey to get here, a journey filled with betrayal, humiliation, and finally, justice. A few weeks ago, I received a flurry of calls and messages from my family. Their voices were filled with panic and desperation, a stark contrast to the cruel words they had once used against me. They wanted to talk, to fix things, but it was too late. I had finally taken control of my life, and I wasn't going to let them pull me back into the darkness. It all started when I moved out of the house in a quiet suburb of Denver. I had lived there for years, but it was never really my home. My family, my parents Mark and Lisa, and my sister Emily had made sure of that. They saw me as a burden, a freeloader who couldn't make it on my own. They never bothered to understand the hard work I put into my freelance career as a content writer and digital marketer. My grandmother, Martha, was the only one who believed in me. She was a tough old woman with a heart of gold. When I was a child, she would visit us with homemade pies and stories of her youth. She saw the potential in me, even when I couldn't see it in myself. When I was 10, my parents moved us into Martha's house. She had offered it to them as a temporary solution, but they took it as a permanent gift. They started living beyond their means, buying expensive cars and going on lavish vacations. They never considered the consequences of their actions, and they certainly didn't care about me. Emily treated the house like her kingdom, bossing me around and making my life miserable. Mark was always busy with work, and Lisa was more interested in her social life than in raising her children. I was left to fend for myself, to find my own way in the world. When Martha died at the age of 85, I was devastated. She was the only one who had ever loved me unconditionally. But little did I know that she had left me a precious gift. A week after the funeral, the lawyer called a meeting. He told us that Martha had left the house to me, with the condition that my family could live there as long as they respected me and paid the necessary expenses. My parents' faces turned pale. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. They had always assumed that the house would be theirs after Martha's death. But I was the legal owner, and there was nothing they could do about it. Instead of accepting the situation, my family decided to make my life even more difficult. They started calling me a freeloader, a failure who couldn't make it on my own. They posted cruel comments about me on social media for all the world to see. They wanted to humiliate me, to make me feel small and insignificant. I tried to ignore them, to focus on my work. I built my business from the ground up, working long hours and taking on any project that came my way. I saved every penny I could, knowing that one day I would be able to escape this toxic environment. After years of hard work and sacrifice, I finally had enough money to buy my own apartment. I didn't tell anyone about my plans. I didn't want them to try to stop me. I packed my things in secret, late at night when everyone was asleep. The day I moved out, I felt a sense of freedom I had never experienced before. I loaded my last box into the truck and drove away, leaving the past behind me. But then, my phone buzzed. It was a notification from Facebook. Someone had tagged me in a post. I opened it and my heart sank. It was a photo of the driveway, with a caption that said, "Finally, the freeloader is gone." There were hundreds of likes and comments, all of them cruel and hurtful. My family had done it again. They had humiliated me in public for all the world to see. At first, I was angry. I wanted to lash out, to defend myself. But then I realized that this was exactly what they wanted. They wanted me to react, to give them the satisfaction of seeing me in pain. So I decided to play their game. I liked every comment, every like, and I even left a message thanking them for their support. They thought they had won. They thought they had finally gotten rid of me. But little did they know that I was just getting started. A week later, I sent them a certified letter. I explained that I was the legal owner of the property and that their right to stay there was conditional on their respectful occupancy. I gave them two options: sign a month-to-month lease at fair market rent or make plans to vacate the premises. They were furious. They called me greedy, ungrateful, and a liar. They threatened to take me to court, to contest the will. But I wasn't afraid. I had all the paperwork, all the evidence to prove that I was in the right. I posted a short statement on social media, along with a photo of the deed and a screenshot of the Facebook post. I explained the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I didn't tag anyone. I didn't beg for sympathy. I just let the facts speak for themselves. The response was overwhelming. People who had once laughed at the post started to see the real me. They apologized for their cruelty, and they supported me in my fight for justice. My sister, who had been so proud of her little victory lap, went strangely quiet. She realized that she had made a huge mistake, that she had underestimated me. My family tried to fight back, but it was too late. The court date came, and I presented my case. The judge listened to both sides, and then he made his decision. He ruled in my favor, and he ordered my family to vacate the premises within 30 days. Outside the courtroom, my mother grabbed my arm. Her nails dug into my skin, and her voice was filled with anger and hatred. "You're really going to do this to us?" she asked. "You're going to ruin our lives?" I looked at her, and I felt nothing. No anger, no hatred, just a sense of calm. "I offered you a lease," I said. "I offered you time. You chose pride." And with that, I walked away. The day they left, I didn't feel any joy or satisfaction. I just felt empty, like a part of me had died. I walked through the empty rooms, remembering all the good times and all the bad. I took photos for documentation, locked the doors, and left. I sold the house soon after. I didn't want any reminders of the past. I used the money to invest in my business, to upgrade my equipment, and to pay for professional training. I also started therapy to help me heal from the emotional wounds of the past. People ask me if I feel guilty, if I regret what I did. But I don't. I did what I had to do to survive. I stood up for myself, for my rights, and for my dignity. And in the end, I came out stronger, wiser, and more confident. So, if there's one lesson I hope you take away from my story, it's this. Don't confuse kindness with weakness, and don't underestimate the power of silence. Because one day, the tables will turn, and those who have wronged you will pay the price.